Okay.
depowered.
Prava opens a comms channel to the pirate queen. He's like, "So, feel like surrendering?"
I think we could talk about this.
I don't think we're in a conversation anymore. This is a time for demands.
You're not just a normal escort, are you?
We are the Starship Perseverance.
I will remember that name.
I'm gonna run a scan while we're talking. Like, I'm just gonna scan to see what the integrity of her ship is, if I can determine anything.
Well, you get to decide right now. Do you want to remember it in a jail spell or in the vacuum of space?
She's silent.
Do I get a picture of like what the condition of her ship is by just running a scan?
It is pretty damaged. For instance,
it says in the rules like further attacks will destroy itself.
Yeah, in other words, you can take this as the ship is overall disabled. For instance, the other two ships, one's power core is glitching, one's engines are glitching, but her ship just seems to be overall damaged. Like you knocked out the overall like maneuverability of it. Okay. It's like, oh, I'm just lazily flying here.
Kuzon, just like while Prava's talking, Kuzon's just like, I'm just gonna say in the background, just like not like just pretending as if I'm not even hearing, and it's like, at your command, sir. I'll pop her like a zit.
Oh, I won't suggest that. We picked up some cargo that you wouldn't want to blow up now, would you? You seem like good guys.
Suddenly Aiden pipes up from behind Prava. Now she's speaking my language. Open up the door. I'm coming through to collect the booty. No funny business. Also, Prava, word to the wise. Next time we're dealing with criminals and dangerous outlaws, maybe you shouldn't announce us so readily.
Listen, we're gonna get credit for doing this job. People are gonna hear about us anyway.
Well, you see, the cargo is not exactly valuables. The last place we hit was just a simple transport freighter, just moving people. Of course, we let the other ones go, took their stuff, but one seemed valuable, so I won't suggest blowing us up or coming out with hostile intent. Let's talk about a deal. You take my boys, and then let me go in my escape pod. How about that?
I'm gonna mute her for a second, say, Prava, agree to the deal, but tell her that we're meeting face in face for the exchange. I'll just capture her. We don't need to honor a deal with a pirate. They're scum.
I'm not gonna lie to her. That's what makes us better than them. No, we're just...
Are we? Kuzon is just like, I mean, you're not supposed to negotiate with terrorists. Like, this is it. We're not being bad people if we kidnap a criminal by lying to them.
Also, Prava, do keep in mind, infiltration is my specialty. If you just keep her on the line long enough, you don't have to lie about anything. I'll just nab her in her ship. It's small, it's cramped, it's busted. I can infiltrate that thing in a heartbeat.
I'll hand you the length of my ion tape, and I'll just be like, it's like her systems are down. She doesn't have any power in order to power self-defense. So or their self-defense system. So there's nothing there that I can tell that would threaten you.
Prava reopens the line. He's like, very well. We're coming in to meet face to face. Put your weapons down. We're gonna board you.
Bo, was this all on an open channel?
No, I said we muted. I muted this.
No. I mean, was this all on the open channel talking to her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you can hear the other pirates like on the other line, like, give us a what the hell? And you actually hear that it sounds like there's more than one in one of the ships. Like there's a few. Probably the fact that they are more boarders than anything. You can probably hear like a few more boys in one ship, but they do not sound happy that she said that she would give them up.
Hey, that's the pirate life for you.
Boss.
Thiveron is gonna speak up and say, You guys do realize we have no brig.
We got guest rooms and we got this tape stuff. We can manage something.
They're pirates, and they are resourceful. And we are only a few.
We're only taking her aboard. We're gonna leave the rest for station security to come clean up. I'm sure we can handle one prisoner.
By the way, if you're on the open mic, the transport ships do mention it's like, well, we got plenty of cargo things to hold them in.
Perfect. See,
We could take them to our destination and hand them over security. It'll be
That
simple
works.
enough. This entire thing's recorded.
That
Yeah.
sounds good to us.
all we need from the pirates are basically, you know, confirmation that we dealt with these guys so we can collect the bounty. We don't actually need to deal with them in any other way. I'm sure that the transports will be more than happy to confirm our story that we're the ones that took them out, considering we did them a solid.
As long as you don't charge us, I'll be totally fine with that.
Don't worry, I'm done ramming for one day.
I meant money, but charging us in that way would also be rather detrimental, yes.
Yeah, we need to talk about that particular maneuver as a crew later.
And
Steal
as
that one away from-
As Prava is about to grill me about that, Aiden's already in his armor and he's heading for the door so he can board the Pirate Queen's ship.
And right in front of like one of the cameras, you just see the hood ornament that Kuzon put on just floating outside now, like having detached from a van.
Kuzon's just like Kuzon just like sitting in the chair. He's like, I could just lock up the ship. We could just leave. We wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. I could just close the doors.
Oh god.
You can see
We
he's
should at
there
least
just like,
secure her prisoner, though. Like, if she's got someone there who's innocent, then we should.
Kuzon just like looks at you. It's like it's like you just have to let me work through these complex feelings I have right now.
I'm just gonna assume that considering Ataika would probably agree with my ramming speed maneuvers, he's probably there just being like, there, little lizard, it's okay, that was very cool.
You just see him like Kuzon just holding Ataika's hand, just like, I could just lock up the ship. Oh my. And I wouldn't hurt my baby anymore. I could just close the doors and leave.
As you complain, you do hear the voice of the AI, Aiden, as he goes, "Sir, are you sure you wish to exit the ship? It is rather dangerous out there. The void of space is not made for organics." Who's maneuvering the ship into range? Or Aiden, are you literally leaping across to?
Autopilot.
I'll take control of it.
Okay,
okay.
But I'll put it in autopilot. I'm pretty good at piloting.
Yeah, it's not going to be that bad. I would say that you could get in reasonable couple feet for Aiden to try jumping across, given it's totally stable.
Yeah, so like I'll be in the the seat is totally oversized for me. What I kind of wanted to imagine is that Kuzon, like everybody else, has seats bolted to the floor. Because Kuzon is smaller, he just has like a mechanical arm like hanging from the ceiling and like moves him around.
See, what you don't understand, Kuzon, is that when we were back on the station, Aiden bought you a child seat for a car so you can place it inside the pilot seat. I'm just kidding, by the way.
The thing is it's like Kuzon has made accommodations for him to take over every single one of your roles except for Thiveron himself. He's like
Thiveron does walk over to Aiden and he says, "Let me go with you. I wish to speak with her. Somebody named the Pirate Queen could definitely make an addition to my repertoire of stories."
The beautiful pirate queen.
Sure thing, man. Just watch my back. And
We'll be ahead of that when we see your mouth.
just word to the wise when dealing with people like this. You know, she has no morals. I mean, she literally rat out and sold out her men. So try and not get egged on. Just let's hear her piece. Let her get it out of the way. After that, we'll deal with her however we see is fit. How's that?
If she's willing, she could. I'll show you when I get there. I think it will be faster than you believe.
Okay then. Aiden's gonna prepare his knife and his pistol, and he's gonna get ready to board her ship.
So both of you and Thiveron are both in the airlock. Before you, it slowly slides open, the decompression almost putting you forward slightly, but thankfully, due to the other door, closed door, it doesn't make you fly out. The silence of space is eerie
Deafening?
compared to the inside of a ship.
The silence is deafening.
No song references. You can see the pirate queen ship floating in space. She's still talking to Prava. It's like, so have you got a deal?
I'm gonna put
My man Aiden's coming over to discuss the terms with you.
So be it.
Okay, never mind. She already knows we're coming, so there's no need to be quiet about it. We're just gonna get there. I'm just gonna keep my gun at the ready.
Yeah, wait, hang on. Didn't you guys discuss that he was meant to sneak on?
Yeah, I thought I was sneaking on there.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Well then. I told her earlier
when you interrupted. I thought when you interrupted him, you wanted him to agree to a pickup, and the lie was that you were just gonna try to apprehend her before she got the escape pod.
Exactly. We had already said
Okay,
that we were.
she knows I'm coming, and I'm gonna try to basically apprehend her. Easy enough. I can handle that.
Right. So, Thiveron, Aiden, how do you make your way over to the other ship? Do you just jump?
I do a little maneuver from Star Wars Republic Commando, the start of the second mission where Scorch literally backflips backwards. There you go. Wait, that's a double. That doesn't work. Just backflips, yes. Backflips into open space.
Thiveron just calmly pushes himself out the airlock with his feet and glides over to the other ship.
Thiveron, you don't have to make a check, but Aiden, make an acrobatics check.
By the way, as I'm spinning into space with that backflip, I'm just gonna dryly say to Thiveron, you know, for a species of space dogs that's blind and has magical powers, you sure are boring sometimes, you know? As I'm just randomly spinning.
Known for
Yeah.
fits of unnecessary backflips.
Yeah, that's the thing. At the moment, since momentum carries him, he can't stop. Like, he just keeps going and going until eventually he hits his back into the back of a pirate ship. Thankfully, not bypassing it completely and flying off into space.
And as the queen, the pirate queen's doors open, and Thiveron and Aiden are walking in, Aiden is doing the doggy pedal motions. You could have just doggy pedaled, you know? I think like it's pretty in character.
He glares at you. First the collar, now doggy paddle.
Just be like, you should have probably done like a basketball dunk in space, you know. like MJ.
Before we end here, though, Thiveron is going to say to Aiden, you know, I think we should let her go. That is what we promised her.
Aiden's gonna take a look around. Is she somewhere? Because I'm assuming the ship's very small. Can she hear us right now?
You're still in the airlock.
Aiden's gonna stop making jokes and is basically gonna prepare his gun and say, she's a pirate. What do you think would have happened if things went sideways and her side won this conflict? I understand where you're coming from. You're a good person, Thiveron, and I respect that. Sadly, I don't respect pirates and criminals.
I keep my word, and having a contact in the diaspora would be advantageous.
Well, for one thing, her head's probably worth some money. There's a bounty on her. Why should we let her go?
Information can sometimes be worth much more than money.
I assume this isn't like a group conversation they're having.
Talking in the air.
Yeah, we're just talking to each other. Sorry, Thiveron, but I can't agree with that decision, and I highly doubt some of the others will agree with that decision as well. If you don't like us capturing her, you don't need to be a part of this. If you want to ask her questions, I'm all for it. Honestly, I don't mind interrogating her and helping you out. But if you want to let her go, I can't agree with that decision.
I'm not going to fight you over it. I just felt my opinion needed to be heard.
Like I said, I don't want you to feel forced to do anything you don't feel comfortable with. I can handle the rest of this on my own. You can just wait back on the ship if you want.
It is okay, but I need to collect her story.
Alright then. Let's go meet this so-called pirate queen.
So, as the second set of doors close behind you, The air fills up the decompressed airlock before opening into the rather small area. It's rather cramped and, well, due to the damage, it's rather dark as well.
By the way, just something to point out of character, because Joe did mention it a few times. I didn't actually give you a doggy collar, I just give you a dog tag, you know, the military thing. I'm just...
Oh yeah, I know, but it usually goes around the neck.
Okay. I was like Aiden makes uncomfortable jokes that are racist sometimes, but he's not that much of a fucking prick. Okay.
I know you didn't literally hand him a dog collar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he just felt it was wrong to wear something around his neck when somebody
Gotcha.
Doesn't appreciate. Well, you know what I mean. Like he took it as a joke.
Yeah, he took it differently. Yeah, that's okay. Just wanted to make sure that he didn't actually give you one. No. Okay.
Yeah, he knows you weren't intentionally trying to insult him.
Right. So as the door opens, what do we see, Ash?
As I mentioned, the area is extremely dark, but from near the pilot seat, you hear what sounds like almost wet, like footsteps, as you hear a sultry, feminine voice go, "Ah, two of you. Well, I suppose I won't be needing this." And you can see from the darkness a gun clatters to the ground, one that seems to glow blue. And before finally she comes out of the shadows, the Pirate Queen.
God damn it! What is this thing?
Yes, I know that look on your face. Beautiful, am I not?
I was going to say, Thiveron, did you bring the bug spray? But sure, let's go with that.
I do not smell any
giggling in the background.
She's just Prava's type.
Yeah. Okay, so Thiveron will start talking. He said,
Aiden's trying to recover from the mental shock.
And as you're recovering, I'll say to her, "Now, I know what we agreed to, but unfortunately, my crew has decided to not let you walk out of here unbound. We will be taking you into captivity. But I am still willing. I would like to hear your story so that it may live on. Everyone's story deserves to be preserved."
By the way, you can notice that she does, as the lights sort of come back on, the hostage isn't around her. She doesn't have a hostage with her.
Aiden's gonna take a quick glance around and say, "I believe you mentioned there's somebody here with you."
Yes, I did. I didn't expect you to actually come over.
Well, you are a lady and there is the vacuum of space out there. We figured you could use an escort.
Well, thank you. Ain't you a gentleman? As for my story, well, guess I have little choice. I couldn't take that one a hostage even if I wanted to. She's gonna hold up her little clammy wet hands. Is well then, I guess I'm under arrest.
I'm gonna walk over to her and use the substance that Kuzon gave me last time, and I'm gonna cuff her.
I stop Aiden from doing that first, and say, "1 second. While you tell me your story, I would like you to be in the comfort of your own starship, unbound, telling me freely, so that I can get everything from your true perspective."
Of course.
Aiden is gonna lean over for a sec. Thiveron, can't this wait for when we're back on the ship?
He will just look toward you, and he just says, "Trust me, it will not take long. You can watch if you want."
So, as she gestures towards the back of the ship that seems to have a separate part for cargo, it's barely flimsy enough to be called a wall. It's she's back there. as for my story,
Can I roll a perception check to see if I can, like, hear the mechanisms of traps or smell the presence of anybody else that might be back there?
you may do.
Yeah, I am also, because I'll mention, like, I'm on the outside, like, keeping everything scanned, like, to see if I notice any, like, activity that would jump out to me, like, Kuzon
You
would
can
just be
definitely
like,
scan.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say you can definitely scan life forms, but sadly the instruments aren't accurate enough to scan for things small like traps and triggers and stuff like that.
Do I actually see 2 life forms on the ship, or did I not spot 2 life forms on the ship?
You do see 4 life forms on the ship, which is the Pirate Queen, Aiden, and presumably the hostage.
So while Thiveron is doing that, Aiden's just gonna give him the zip tie, not the zip tie, the
Ion tape.
the ion tape and the zip. So after he's done talking with her, he can just cuff her. In the meantime, Aiden is going to check on the prisoner.
That music will do for now. So as she turns towards you, Thiveron, she goes, "So where would you like me to start?"
Do I detect the presence of anybody there, or?
Oh, right. As you do detect the presence of somebody back there, and you do also, as you're listening closely and sniffing the air, you do have a small sense of, as Aiden's about to open a door, you hear, like, as if something's pulling.
Stop opening that door, it's a trap.
She would booby trap her own ship. Aiden looks confused about that.
Well, she needs insurance, doesn't she? She is a pirate.
Aiden looks towards the Pirate Queen. Anything I should be worried about if I touch this door?
She gives up a sigh and a shrug. It's like, I booby trapped it. Simply push a knife through the gap and cut the wire.
Aiden's gonna carefully check and notice
I
that
think it sense motive.
You may take a sense motive.
There.
You can tell that she seems to be telling the truth. She seems to... That was almost like the last bit of wind out of her sails, so to speak.
Okay, so I'll just look over to Aiden and nod.
Aiden's gonna check for the trap and use his knife to disarm it, and he's not gonna point out the fact that he was gonna check anyway, because that's how many of his mercenary friends died.
So
But
yeah,
let's not
as
mention that.
basically the wire cuts like tong, and as you push it open, you do see a frag grenade like on a string.
I'll collect
Basically.
it and pocket it.
My frag grenade.
My friend. You better believe it. It's mine now.
So yeah, it's like, well, again, where would you like me to start?
You don't have to start anyway. And Thiveron will just pull out his hand. This may feel weird, but it is the most raw way for me to record your story. Yep, Thiveron's going in raw.
So, using that ability,
Yes, a mind link.
would you like to tell me to tell you now, or would you like it written down?
Write it down.
So as you're basically mind linking to the Pirate Queen, quote unquote, as Aiden enters the back room, as the Pirate Queen's birth was barely 10 years ago, given that a bunch of pirates obtained her egg and was going to sell it. However, after her birth, they decided to keep her, and as she grew up, them thinking that she was nothing but a pet, but a part of a, well, of course, a new alien race, she basically decided to steal a couple of ships all at once from her former captives and turn her to piracy, which is all she really knew. And this is why recently this area has been so chaotic, because she managed to basically start attacking this area, which pirates don't normally do as much due to the sheer amount of attention it draws, which now she seems to understand. And, well, even looking around her place, it seems like it's a very exaggerated cabin of pirate paraphernalia. For instance, there's a sword hanging on brackets. There's even like a little creature that seems to be wobbling inside of a darked out cage. There's like a lot of little things, you know, that you would think, oh yeah, this is a pirate story. So essentially, her story is a short one so far, but one of rather compact revelry in the life of piracy. Weirdly enough, her story also doesn't involve any killing, since the story that what you see is basically her robbing, running away, and laughing maniacally about being the pirate queen. Oh no, Joe went. Joe, why?
Dead.
Joe dead.
The story was too much. It was too much information.
Not
Overwhelmed him.
fine. So like something must have knocked him off the internet.
Yeah, he must have
Joe,
lost his
no.
internet.
Poor Joe. Well, I'll
in the
write it down for him later.
In the meantime, what do I see in the back room?
As you enter into the back room, there's a few small crates of rags. They're nothing really valuable, but right at back, there seems to be, well, the sound of chains, like swaying back and forth.
I'm gonna carefully approach.
As you start approaching, you see heavy set chains basically bolted into the wall, holding down what appears to be, well, a woman. She is basically sat there, cross-legged, one of her arms entrapped by the chain, while one's been let free as she's took like a bottle of wine from the table. Oh, hang on, Thiveron, is he back? Oh, he's on his phone. Okay. Yeah, so she took like a bottle of wine from the table. You could just see her drinking it back. Like, she's looking up towards you. Her short, like, red hair is like barely shown. You can almost barely see her eyes looking towards you.
Ash, you're breaking up.
I am?
Yeah, you were breaking up there for a
We're
second.
getting a little bit quiet. I'm not sure if maybe it was, but anyway.
Don't tell me Discord's gonna be fucky with us today.
I guess so. As I see the woman on the floor just drinking with one arm, I'm gonna ask her, good vintage?
No, what a crap. Who are you?
Don't worry about who I am. What is important is why I'm here. I'm assuming you want off this ship, correct? I'm here to help you with that.
Well, the drink sucks. Like, she takes another swig at it.
She says that Aiden's gonna cock his head. We got better on our ship.
She's looking up towards you, and you do notice something strange about her. She does seem to have strange eyes. She seems human, but her eyes are... the whites of her eyes are black, while the middle part is almost a golden-like color.
Nice eyes. But I guess you probably get that a lot. And while they're talking, by the way, as Aiden is talking, he's already starting to work on removing the chain. So
there's quite a few. She's not just chained up with like a single manacle. There's like one chain, two chain, three chains going across her arm, leg, chest, like neck, like holding her against the wall as you're working on it.
Aiden just says, "Oh, okay, then I guess this is gonna take a while." So what's your story? What garnishes so much attention? He says as he rattles a few of the chains.
I look rich. She shrugs, and as you're working closer to her, you can tell her skin's like rather like pristine for how raggedy she looks. Like she looks very clean, very like she smells great and everything like that. It's basically she's in perfect health compared to how much she seemed to be captured.
Yeah, Aiden's gonna take note of that and say, "You're not the daughter of some planet lord, are you?"
That would be nice. She says as she takes another swig.
Anyway, don't worry about it. Not that you seem worried and all, noting how much liquor you've intake so far. What was the Pirate Queen planning to do with you anyway?
Setting me off, I believe. I mean, I don't know what she would get for me, to be honest. You do take note that she like licks her lips of the wine and just relaxes back as you're working on the chains.
Well, do you at least know where we are right now?
Space.
Yeah, kinda narrows it down, doesn't it? Aiden laughs. Well, at any
She
rate,
just smokes.
no idea where she was planning to take you, but we're traveling with a small convoy of supply ships, plus we still gotta deal with the leftover pirates. Don't worry, they're disabled, we just gotta transport them. So, hope you don't mind coming with us. After that, we'll see what happens. Did they took anything from you? Any personal possessions you want back?
Well, there was a locker. I'll just grab them as soon as I'm free. But thank you for the offer transport.
Sure thing, don't worry about it. Consider it on the house, it's been a good day today. Besides, I don't think there's much point in charging prisoners.
She smiles slyly and gives you a wink.
Right, I'm gonna finish setting her off. I'm not sure if I can actually do that without a key or tools. What's it look like?
Looks like you may need some sort of bolt cutters since they were bolted into the wall very haphazardly.
That shouldn't be too hard to find. I'm gonna look through some storage box or something that probably has some tools to maintain the ship.
I should have remembered to give you my laser drill.
Yeah, that's okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah, you probably... There's no actual tools. 1 second, let me check the inventory of the ships.
Emergency
yeah, they don't seem
kit?
to have any. Yeah, they don't seem to have any.
Even in the emergency kit? Wow, okay.
There's no such thing as emergency kits.
Kuzon probably has some tools for this, but I didn't take anything from him. I didn't think I'd have to deal with this many chains. I mean, honestly, chains in this day and age? So barbaric.
I mean, to be honest, Kuzon's gonna want to salvage the ship anyway, or at least if it's possible to, depending on, obviously, circumstances.
Let me see what kind of tools I have on me, because I do have some stuff. Maybe I've got something that I can...
How big are these ships? I assume they're too big. We couldn't put them in a car or anything like that.
They're not fighters, but they're just ones right above there and right below your ship size, so you can't fit them in your cargo hold.
Yeah, so I'd have to hop out and just disconnect the wings or something.
Yeah, depending parts you disconnect and the like.
Ash, can you check Skype real quick?
Okay. Make an attack.
Just a sec. Ooh, maximum damage.
Okay, so I'm going to say you're going to be working on that for a second. So yeah, Thiveron, that's the summary of the story you get, and I'll write it down for you later.
Okay. He'll pull his hand back and just say, amazing.
It's been a short life, but fulfilling one.
I see. Well, you will have my support while dealing with the stewards, as you have not taken life.
I mean, there's no point. If they're dead, then I can't get their stuff.
That is correct. But what I mean is, you do not kill wantonly or for fun.
Oh, no. No.
And then I'll pick up the ion tape and the zip stick and say, now, unfortunately, for the pleasant part, the unpleasant part, if you will.
She nods and holds up her forearms.
Okay, I wrap the ion tape around her forearms, and then I use a zip stick.
So it locks together, and she's just sat there now with her arms bound.
She's got armor on, right? That has environmental protections?
She has a space flight suit, yes.
Okay.
Also, you might want to pick up her gun that she dropped.
Yeah, he does do that.
So, as you're doing that, you hear the clatter of chains fall to the ground, in the back of a cargo bay where Aiden is.
Yeah, at one point Aiden's like, well, I can't find any useful tools. He just shrugs and says, fuck it. He removes the glove on his right hand and just grabs the chains and starts yanking them out one by one.
Well, since you said that, then Thiveron can notice it if he wants to. I mean, if you're doing it in full view of Aiden, literally a normal human ripping out chains from the wall that have been bolted in.
Well, I mean,
He can't see me, remember his Thiveron. The prisoner can probably see it though.
Right, so meanwhile, basically you're ripping off chains and throwing them to the ground for a second, like 1, 2. And as she get more free, she drops her other arm and like holds the bottle above her head as you're taking off the chains from around her body, and she's like, thanks. And like basically finishes off the wine and shakes it and
Don't mention it.
guys it to the ground.
Aiden's gonna make sure to put his glove back on, and then he, from his backpack, takes out the spacesuit that Kuzon gave him, and he hands it over to the prisoner girl. Here you go. Something to keep you safe as we get back to the airship. By the way, I don't believe I caught your name, miss.
Oh, name. Yeah. Sorry. Kind of out of it. Alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could just call me something like Z.
Ah, yes, a very inconspicuous name.
Well, to be honest, I haven't picked my name yet.
You haven't picked your name? Aiden looks confused.
Never mind, never mind. You should just let me go to my locker.
Sure thing. I mean, you're free. Can you stand up? Do you need help?
She stands up just fine as she rolls her shoulders and legs, and it's like, right, locker. And as she goes over to a locker, it like sticks for a moment. She pulls it open, and you see her take out like a small backpack and like a small luggage, and then a bottle of whiskey, and then pops the top off again. So there we go. Okay, this way. Okay.
And Aiden's gonna walk out towards Thiveron and the Pirate Queen with Z.
Okay. I should be back now.
Okay.
What I was trying to say is that telepathically, Thiveron just sent you a message saying, like, are you okay?
Is he sending it to Aiden?
Yep, telepathically, as he heard all like the chains rustling and everything.
All you hear is he responds mentally. Yeah, I'm okay. Just getting rid of these pesky chains. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, I mean, like you get like 6 to 10 words.
Seems
Don't
good.
worry about it would suffice for
No,
Thiveron.
don't worry
He
about
trusts
it.
you.
You as they come on into the main part of the small ship, she goes, "Hey, a doggy." Like
Yeah.
for one of the whiskers, a dog.
Yeah, he's a bit different than most dogs. I mean, for one, he can speak and he's on 2 legs, so maybe don't ask him to shake paws. I think that's inappropriate.
Everyone, as you sense this other person through smell and hearing, this person smells like a really good person. Like, this person can't do any wrong. It's just,
Okay.
it's just a really good smell. No bad person could have this smell.
Thiveron has suddenly has the need to get head pats from her.
I don't trust that perfume. I'm gonna sense motive on the perfume.
Essentially, that is kind of what it is. Essentially, it's like, that's a good person. I want head pats from that person. Is what kind of feeling you're getting. I know it's not equivalent to Velkin, but I'm not sure what it would be. Kind of like would be equivalent of like a hug or something, like a handshake. It's like, I want a hug or something, you know?
Is
If
she
you want
wearing,
to sense it, you can.
is she wearing a perfume that's
Just
literally
a
charm
handshake
spells?
is good enough.
Hang on.
Is she like using pheromones to is she using pheromones as like a greeting?
She seems human to your sight, your hearing at least. But she smells, well, different. She definitely doesn't smell like Aiden. Aiden smells like old socks. To
Right.
you.
Fuck you.
I'll just say, Aiden, you seem to have found a unique individual.
Boy, I'll say she can take her liquor, let me tell ya.
That's also something. As he says that, you do smell a little bit of liquor, but not much on her for some reason. Even as she's taking like another swig of straight up whiskey, just
So, who are you? Thiveron will ask.
I have come up with a temporary name, Z.
What do you mean
That's-
temporary name?
Because I don't have my name yet. I ain't picked it. I was thinking on it while I was traveling.
Ah.
Until she picked me up.
Seems that she did more than pick you up. She seems to have chained and bound you with the intention of selling you on a market.
Ah, I see. Can I kick her?
Nah, I would
No,
advise
she is
against that.
surrendered, and the stewards will deal with her promptly.
What an asshole.
If you
says
if
she's
you
like,
want some
gonna
payback,
pick
though, I
that up.
think there's a few more bottles of liquor you can pick up from her ship.
Oh, good plan.
Now, this may sound a little out of left field, but you have a peculiar scent for a human. Where are you from?
I am from a very chaotic place.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You
Aiden
don't
just
need to
shrugs.
share if you don't want to. I'm simply curious.
Ah, okay. Then I won't. You have video games on your ship?
Hell yeah. Well, I wouldn't call them video games, they're more simulations. I have Call of Duty 46.
Amazing.
It's this fictional universe where they where this weird country called Germany is like fighting against these other countries. It's like it's really gripping stuff.
It's
I
a
mean-
great work of historical fiction.
The narrative is they call it the cold 24th World War nuclear exodus.
Well, let's get on your ship then. She packs away her whiskey and then pats you on the head, Aiden. And if you had a tail, you'd be wagging it. You have a feeling you would be, and you don't know why.
Yeah, like even though like he does recognize this feeling, he doesn't trust it. He's very wary
Yeah,
of this. He's
Like-
never met somebody like this.
both you and Aiden are getting that sort of feeling now. Ever since she
When she
touched you, Aiden.
when she pats Thiveron on the head, Aiden just
No,
stands
no,
there.
she pet you on the head.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Aiden stands there looking confused. And
Well, if
then
I
he
pet
points
him on the head,
towards
it would
and
be
then
rude.
he points towards Thiveron. Did you meant to pet him? What's going on right now?
If I pet him, it would be rude.
Oi.
She says, as she like walks over. But again, you still get that feeling like, yeah, you're pretty happy that she petted you.
Aiden for now shrugs it off because he's in the middle of a fucking job and he's a professional. He's gonna look towards Thiveron and say, "You got the pirate queen?"
Yes, so what was her name again?
Oh, 1 second. Pirate Queen, Pirate Queen.
In the meantime, Aiden. Oh, go ahead.
Victoria, I believe.
Victoria.
Yes.
If you would follow me, Queen Victoria.
The second.
It's like, fine, fine. By the way, you don't intend to throw that girl out the airlock without a suit on. I know you're like you beat me up, but I don't think that's a bit cool.
I'm just going to point to my eyes. I'm sorry. I did not realize that she was not wearing a suit.
Ah, okay. I would keep an eye on that one. And you hear like a beat clicking, almost as if a snicker, like.
And why is that?
She's a bit unique. By the way, Aiden, do you hand your suit over to her?
Yeah, I already gave her the suit, remember?
Yeah, she's
So
putting it
I'm
on.
basically in the airlock. I'm gonna make sure that she's got her suit on properly, and then I'm gonna take her arm without asking and say, "Just close your eyes. If you're scared, I'll get you to the other ship in like a jiffy. Don't worry about it."
As she actually puts on the suit, Thiveron, you suddenly get that feeling, well, vanishes. That sort of like happy feeling just goes as she's in the suit and she's like, fine, just drag me. She says to Aiden, like in an almost pessimistic kind of way, as she's looking towards all the battlefield sort of like area.
Can I take a life science check to see if there's any species that I know that emit pheromones like this?
You may.
or any species that is capable of manipulating scent that she could be. Or at least that's what I'm going on.
You're way too suspicious of people, man.
I think Aiden should be the one.
Well,
Yeah. Roll like
maybe
science,
someday
please,
you'll find out why he's so suspicious of everybody. One day. 25.
Right, I'm going to give you a little something extra for that. As you go through the list in your mind of every story you've heard of species you know about, you start ticking them off, first putting them down to humanoid, then down to ones that look basically human. I suspect that, well, Aiden at some point did mention, or at some point you found out that she does have strange looking eyes with black where white should be and almost golden like eyes. And as you go through like each one, you don't remember any species resembling her, but then you realize what you're feeling isn't just pheromones, since you would pretty much know what, like, from the smell, what kind of pheromones they were. This seems a bit more supernatural in nature.
Is this the Lashunta I'm dealing with?
You definitely know it's supernatural in nature. Well, what did you say? How do you spell that?
Is this a Lashunta? They're a common race. They look humanoid except for their eyes and their antennae.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah. And the
No.
one of their dimorphic races can emit pheromones, and they all have latent psychic abilities.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as I mentioned, it's not just racial super, it's literal, almost a magical like nature.
I don't know much
Okay,
about the races.
Can I cast Identify to see if I'm being charmed right now?
If you do, you would, as soon as Aiden jumps out the airlock with her on the other side, you would distinctively know that it's a very weak charm effect that's centered on her, yes.
Okay, yeah, I do. So I'm aware this is magical now, and
So
my tail stops wagging. I don't appreciate. Thiveron does not appreciate being manipulated.
So I don't know much about the races in this universe, but the fantasy nerd inside me screams, succubi! Anyway, as we're floating through space and heading back for the ship, Aiden's gonna look towards the anomaly, and pride dwells inside him. Yeah, I rammed somebody into that. Fuck yeah!
As you finally land down, it gives Thiveron a chance to also get the other person across as well, if you're actually bringing them both over.
So before he goes with Victoria, he's gonna ask her one more time. Would you please divulge to me what she is? She is emanating a faint magical aura, and it would be drastically tragic of you to lose your helmet during transit from one spaceship to another if you were to lie about something that could affect the well-being of my crew.
Roll intimidation.
Jesus Christ!
He's got a dark side.
Oh yeah, why do you think?
Fuck, that was terrible. Well,
she is gonna look at you like she almost seems like, is he serious? He was so nice just a second ago. Well, if you want to know, what you just picked up was a very rare species. I suggest you look a bit more into the darker side of magical species.
Duly noted. And then I'll take her across without unhinging her helmet as we get.
Okay. That would. Aiden looks back and everyone's just fucking chugging him into space without a helmet. It's like, what the?
Bruh!
Oops!
Bruh!
He's like, I thought you were a good boy. I'm a hidden bad boy and a good boy.
Bruh! Bruh, what the hell, bruh?
He is a neutral character.
So yeah, you basically all four of you get across, and now you're on the ship. Is Kuzon and Prava waiting for them?
I'm just gonna make a show where as soon as they're on the ship, I'm just sitting here in my like computer chair, and I just like swivel the guns at them.
Prava's waiting
it's-
way too close to the airlock, kind of like excited to meet new people.
Kuzon's up in the command center with Ataika, and he's just like, as soon as they show up, he aims the automated turrets at them.
So as soon as Aiden spots that Kuzon is playing with the guns, being aggressive in his own little way again, and Prava's just so excited he can barely contain himself inside the ship, Aiden's just gonna sigh and look towards Z and be like, well, that's the crew. Sending mixed messages as always. I hope you're in for a rowdy time, because it's a rowdy bunch.
So which of you is the pirate queen and which of you is our new guest?
When he says that, Thiveron will introduce, this is Queen Victoria.
Pirate Queen Victoria.
And she has graciously surrendered herself to us.
I thought you were being vain when you called yourself beautiful, but you've got a certain charm to you.
Prava,
Oh, thank you.
Prava, be professional.
Just over the intercom, it's just like Kuzon is just. Oh, he doesn't say anything over the intercom. He's just sitting here, like shaking his head, like listening to the conversation.
As you listen to that, probably you also, as soon as like she takes her helmet off and gets rid of heavy set clothes, you do also get the feeling from this other woman that she's quite beautiful as well. But
Prava's not
of course, it's
suspicious
also
of that
objective.
feeling whatsoever. He's just like, oh.
Oh, more beautiful people, just like me. I'm beautiful too.
Between Kuzon and Ataika, just like, Ataika, aren't they ugly? Isn't everybody in the just like, no, but that'd just be funny. Just sitting here on the other side of the camera, just like, man, they're so ugly.
It's like, where's her scales? God, not even a tail.
Alright then, I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to get to know each other on our way to our destination. In the meantime, why don't we get situated? It's been an eventful day. Well, don't worry about it, Queen Victoria. We've got some very special quarters just for you. And by that I mean, I'm assuming that Ataika is going to keep an eye
Just
on
lock her in the bathroom.
No, this is the part. What's the other guest's name?
Oh, this is Z.
Temporary name. She says as she slowly brings up the whiskey bottle, uncorks it.
Aiden's gonna turn to her. You don't have to keep mentioning that. That just makes it look weirder.
What's weird about that? Nothing wrong with using a good old alias. Welcome aboard, Z.
I like you. You understand.
Hey, everyone's got their own circumstances. As far as I'm concerned, you're a guest here. Just live as you normally live.
Thank you. Point me towards the guest quarters.
Touch my
Aiden,
stuff, and I'll be really pissed.
Aiden,
Is that a voice?
Aiden is going to basically take Z to the living quarters area, and since we've got a few rooms free, I'm just gonna point her to the one that's right next to mine so I can keep an eye out in case something happens. Here, here's your quarters, you can stay in here. Let me know if you need something, I'm right next door.
So we have one spare, like, high quality living quarters room, and then 8 just like locker rooms, basically, like 8 like more basic.
Yeah, the locker room is for the queen, and I'm assuming that Ataika is gonna keep watch on her.
So yeah, essentially she goes, "Yes, this will do nicely. Can I have those video games delivered, and then you should leave me alone for the rest of the trip? Okay, okay, bye." And she closes the door. And then the door
Okay.
opens again. Also, alcohol. Thank you.
That's a weird guess, alright. Anyway, let's get back to the Pirate Queen, I guess. And Aiden Shirkson returns to the rest of the crew.
So Prava's talking to the queen still. He's basically like, yeah, so you are a prisoner here. We'll try not to make it too unpleasant for you. Is there anything that... Do you have any, like, special needs, food or comfort-wise? What temperatures are you fine with? What?
Well, I prefer a more clammy environment. It's good for my skin. But, I would like some meals every single day.
Oh, well, of course, we're not savages. We'll let you starve. No food allergies or anything you need to worry about?
Oh, no, I can practically eat anything.
All right, another omnivore board. Should be easy.
Kuzon just like sarcastically like over the intercom is just like, would you like me to fluff your pillows? How about
that'd
some
be lovely.
Chardonnay?
That'd be lovely. Thank you very much. Whoever he is very polite. She says to Prava before she gets into the locker room. It's like, not fit for a pirate queen, but it will do.
We're all good people on this crew. We'll do right by you.
Swaying a bit to sit down, she sits down in the hammock for a moment. Still bound, of course, as I suspect Ataika is moving up to guard where she is.
I think it's safe to say that at this point we can remove the cuffs and I'll collect the...
No. Prava's the most naive person on this ship, but even he's not cool with you uncuffing the prisoner.
I mean, who's gonna take her to the bathroom?
I mean, we can take turns on that. We can.
I mean, there's a bathroom in her, like, in the living quarters, I'm assuming. Like, I think we safely assume each one has its own restroom. So, like, if she can use it, like, literally to leave the toilet seat up, she's fine.
Yeah,
I'll make it voice-activated bathroom.
No, it should be fine. There's a toilet for all the things. They don't each have one. But
Wait, when we were building the ship, did we make sure to spend extra BP to have a interspecies bathroom that fits all kinds?
There's 3 shells.
There's 3 shells. Oh, I can't wait for the shells.
I assume if we had a weird species that can't use a regular toilet, that it wouldn't be too difficult for Kuzon to make accommodations for it.
So yes, you now have Pirate Queen and what her name is, quote unquote, Z.
She seems to be a shit-in.
I, for one, like all of our guests. They all seem charming, even the criminals.
While they're doing that, and I'm still sitting, I'm very intentionally still sitting in the pilot seat. I want to look up, if I can, like, get a snap of the queen's face and, like, do some lookup. I'm just going to see if there is a bounty on her head. Like, I'm investigating to see what she's worth, or, like, if I can find any background details of any, like, hits that she's done or anything like that.
Well, if you do look up, you're in the infosphere area. She has a bounty of around about 600.
Oh wow, that's nothing.
Like, she's rather
Yeah, she's new to the
at
business.
this.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
don't know. I mean, she does know how to. This is Kuzon's internal dialogue while he's showing. Kuzon's just like, you know, she's only worth. She at least knows how to pilot a ship, and Aiden's worth so many more times than her.
You know, we could just take him in.
Wow.
No.
Well, of course, since you have a crew, that bounty is, well, put up, but you have to deliver them to get, you know,
Yeah.
an actual bounty. for them.
Speaking of which, since they've got the Pirate Queen under control and our guest has been situated, Aiden's probably gonna leave the ship again so I can help the freighters get the rest of the pirates on board and on lockdown without any issues.
Are you gonna take them with you, or are you going to ask for transports? Because transports can provide you papers that you have captured.
Yeah, I'm
people.
gonna say that we don't actually have a suiting facility for picking up these pirates, so they should transport them, and I'm gonna help them lock them down.
They are going to give you some slips to basically take away, you know, DNA scans and the like.
Yeah.
Using their medical facilities, they scan up and hand them over to you to confirm that you're the ones who captured them.
After we're done, I'm gonna speak with the leader of the convoy and give him a handshake. I'm like, pleasure working with you. Hope you stay safe for the rest of the trip.
You too. He like gives you a hearty handshake. He's actually a human like you. He's like, have a good luck out there.
Thanks, you too. After that, when we split up, I'm assuming that Kuzon has had some time at this point. Maybe he can help me salvage some stuff from the ships before we leave. Maybe,
Yeah,
like, you know, check out if they have any useful goods, any useful parts that we might want to pick up.
I'll hand Aiden like some of the repaired mining equipment that I fixed up last time. It's like, you know how to use this?
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Alright, so let me get this straight. Are you going to raid the ships with their stuff inside and then start salvaging?
Just like as much as like, we don't want to spend too much time here, but just like a few pieces, like hull would be very valuable.
We can't really bring the ships back with us, so I'm basically gonna scour the ships for some supplies and loot, and in the meantime Kuzon's probably gonna start working on scavenging them for some useful parts, I'm assuming.
Well, it will only take you about a day.
That's fine, we're in no rush at this point anymore. By the way, what's up with the little living creatures that are circling around the ship? Are they like trying to eat the ship or something?
They're just trying to pick up the little bits of scrap. For instance, your hood ornament's gone. One of those creatures that ate it.
Oh, well, in that case, when I get a short break and I've got 5 or 10 minutes, I'm gonna say a promise is a promise, and I'm gonna find Prava, and I'm going to take him out into space and make sure that he gets a sweet ass selfie with those creatures.
They act almost exactly like manta rays. Like, you can touch them, you can like ride on their backs and everything.
Prava's too respectful to ride them, but he definitely like puts his hand on one of their backs and takes a quick picture with it, just like.
Aiden's not. He definitely wants a picture of riding one so he can send it back to Murana and the rest of the crew.
As Prava's taking the picture, you see his Aiden riding background over the comms going, yeah!
By the way,
he's like rumbling to himself. He's like sitting on the hull of a ship, like sawing off a bit of plate, and he's just glaring at them. Motherfucker ate my hood ornament.
Of course, you can always 3D print yourself a new one.
If I knew which one. Oh.
So, Kuzon, are you helping with the salvage operation, or are you going to try repairing the ship while it's stationary?
The salvage operation. There's no. I don't need to fix. I'd rather fix the ship. And it's only minor damage anyway. Like it'll hold.
So yeah. So you're salvaging up, and I can easily tell you, I'm going to say you get I'm going to calculate it later, so you basically got whole parts and scrap, yeah? From it. Okay.
And yeah, from the insides of the ship, I'm basically collecting if they have some loot, some supplies, weapons, stuff like that.
Could you both roll me engineering?
Oh, okay. Not exactly my strong suit, but...
Oh, wow. I rolled a nat 1.
You still got a 14.
Oh, wow.
You did, man.
Reroll it. Roll it.
Oh, yeah, you can re-roll. You got to re-roll it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing: you were both like getting, you're like, oh wow, these are still in good shape. You got 2 light laser cannons, and you're like, yeah. And then you see one of the creatures go by, and the other one's about to get swallowed as well. But Aiden, you managed to grab onto it just in time.
I will literally tell the ship to open fire.
I'm just going to say that Kuzon did not notice at all, because he was looking back for one, and then we looked back, it was gone. So the fuck? And Aiden's holding on to the other cannon. So you got one laser cannon.
You know what's the funny thing? Like,
Plus scrap, of course.
Yeah.
because I'm the skill monkey, there's literally no skills that I'm bad at. I have a +7 to engineering, despite me not being an engineer, and that's still sad. That's sad.
But again, I'm saying that your skill sets are completely different. For
Yeah,
instance,
that's-
I won't allow you to refit the ship as Kuzon would be able to
Yeah, of course.
do.
Yeah, well, it's also, you have a +7, and I have a +13 to engineering check.
No, dude.
I almost have double the bonus to engineering checks.
Jesus fuck.
Right,
We failed so hard.
Right, so you let the people take the guys away, so that means their armor and stuff has gone with them.
It's like you're a skill monkey, but the way that the exocortex engineers do, it's like the things that I know how to do, I'm very specialized in.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I've got a few things here, and I'll post them after. So essentially,
Yeah.
you pick up like a bunch of stuff and like load them all in and take whatever you need. But there are two objects in the Pirate Queen's ship that you would take probably notice of. Number one is a little black cage that seems to rattle and go
Well,
inside, and also there's a sword on hooks just above where the pilot seat is.
I'm gonna assume that whatever that little creature is, Thiveron's probably gonna be able to tell me more about it. In the meantime, though, I wanna check out the sword. I'm curious about that.
Okay, so taking down the sword, you know it's a rather thin, long sword, and on the side and on the very bottom is insignia of MI. Studying it, you could put it's definitely a very lovely weapon. In terms, it's got like decorations on it, engravings, and like it's meant to be for decorations, but it's rather solid for a ceremonial sword. And given the thing on the end, you can roll your profession to find out why.
Okay.
So, would you like me to roll my profession?
If you're there as well.
So,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's for military knowledge, but it would be a +5 if it is.
It's actually both for your professions. I assure you it's related to both, since you both would probably know this in your professions. If you wish to roll. And 16. I would say you'd be able to tell the MI on the hilt is for Multifold Industries. They are well known for making equipment that is extraordinarily tough.
Not gonna lie, didn't expect this Pirate Queen's gonna have something of this higher quality.
Do they use the techniques of an Eastern land?
Look, I didn't pick the name of the company.
I'm like, I'll like lift it up. I imagine that if it's heavy, I can, since we're in like 0 gravity right now, I can just kind of like handle it pretty easy. I'm just like looking it over. It's like, I'll inspect it later.
Is the sword got a scabbard or something?
Yes, very thin one.
I'm gonna reach over and take it from Kuzon and give it a look around myself, and then I'm gonna slowly draw the blade. I wanna see how it feels in my hand.
It is very smooth.
I'm gonna put the blade back into its scabbard and say, Kuzon, mind if I hold on to this?
Is it technological at all, or is it just like particularly fancy?
It's just it's a fancy blade.
I mean, knock yourself out. If you want me to do an alloy analysis, feel free to stop by my shop.
Sounds good, man. I think once things calm down a little bit, there are a few things I've been meaning to ask you about. While my gear is well maintained, it could use a few improvements, and you've proven to be quite a capable engineer. I was wondering if you can, give me a hand with a few modifications.
Yeah, it's Kuzon kind of like smiles. They can't clap your shoulder, but he like claps your elbow, I guess. And he's just like, and I've noticed that you're a pretty good shot. So I'm sure I don't. It's like, as long as you hit your target, I'm sure that all the modifications I do will work to our benefit.
And as he's clapping my shoulder, Aiden quietly looks at him for a while. He then reaches out with one arm and lifts him up a little bit so he can reach my shoulder, and he just goes, there we go. And he just continues listening because you continue talking.
I think Kuzon's just getting used to people just like picking him up and moving him places.
He's like, perfect, thank you.
By the way, the next moment you see that Aiden looks towards the pet cage and notices the A and C logo on top of it, and Aiden immediately forgets about you and he just drops you, and you see a face of disgust on his face. That made no sense. English. He makes an expression of disgust as he sees the AC letters on the cage. Ugh.
What? I'm sorry, I'm not following. But something on me that says AC?
The pet cage. There's a logo on it that says AC, and he immediately grimaces and looks disgusted when he sees that.
Is that the pet cage in the ship? I don't have a pet cage.
Yeah, there's a pet cage in the ship that has like a small hexagon, what looks like a hexagon shield on it with AC on it, like imprinted on it.
Yeah, Aiden immediately looks dissatisfied when he sees that.
Do I recognize that, what the AC stands for?
You can roll for it.
Would that be like a profession, I guess?
You may roll profession, yes. 12. You won't know much about it, but you do know it's called Aegis Corp.
Okay. I'll snatch it. The symbol doesn't mean much to me. I'll just like snatch it. It's like, could be useful.
As you pick it up, you hear from inside.
Aiden looks at you judgingly. You're seriously taking that?
I'm gonna peer inside of it, and it's like it's like a good scrapper doesn't leave anything useful behind.
Kuzon, would you roll me reflex?
Reflex? Oh boy. So a dex save, right?
Yep, dex save.
Well, actually,
no, reflex. It's right there. Ref.
On the right side of the sheet.
Saving throws, yeah.
Oh, oops. Sorry,
That's fine. Right, as you do that, you just see something spring forth from the cage, but instead of ratcheting onto your face, it goes onto your shoulder, and it's like this small little slime-like thing, and it's like, and it crawls up to your shoulder, and it's like going across it curiously, and it's like,
hello.
See?
I'm gonna inspect. It's not like would I recognize if it was like a weird, like, I guess I'm gonna try to scoop it back in the cage. I don't like this like weird slimy creature I don't identify to be touching my equipment.
See, Kuzon, this is why you don't deal with Aegis Corp stuff. They do shoddy products. Everything they do is garbage. You never should touch their stuff.
What is this supposed to be? What is the function of this thing?
I don't know. I don't care. Leave it behind. It's probably worth nothing. Trust me. They do a shoddy job. Nothing they do is worth it.
By the way, as you pick up Kuzon and you hold it in your hand, it suddenly transforms into what appears to be like a small gemstone. Like what? It's so shiny, like it's almost as big as your hand, and it transforms back into slime. It's like as you slowly put it back in the cage.
So this is like some kind of weird. I'll put it in and seal it. So like it's a weird shape-shifting creature thing. It's like
as you seal the pet cage, you can also twist on the side, and it seems to have like a transparency filter, so you can actually have the cage, instead of black, have it transparent.
Okay. I guess I'll just look at Aiden and it's like, you seem to know what this is. Like, I've heard, like, I recognize the symbol as Aegis Corp, but I don't know anything about what they put out.
Like I said, all they do is shoddy work. They've got the worst tech in the galaxy. You don't want to touch any of their garbage. Trust me.
I'll just like I'll attach the cage to like my belt or however I would carry it. It's like I'll be the judge of how shoddy their equipment is. Thanks.
Suit yourself. Just don't be disappointed, I warned you. And he shrugs and starts heading towards the door. Well, I think we're about done with this ship.
Yeah, I'm insanely... Kuzon isn't saying anything, but he's insanely curious, because it seems to him like Aiden has some kind of history with this group. So when we get back, when we're getting ready to leave and everything like that, I'm gonna take an opportunity to like do some background research into Aegis Corp and try to see if I can identify what this thing is even supposed to be.
Okay then.
Does it like if I have it in my workshop, does it like accept food? Like if I stick like a scrap in there, will it eat it?
It will eat practically anything you put into its cage. But if you look it up, you're gonna quite easily find out what that creature is. Because despite you not having one, they are a rather popular sort of pet. They're called a prog.
Prog. Okay.
10 seconds. There you go. Oh no, so I should change music.
Oh, it's a creature companion. Wait, it has stats? Is that a battle pet?
No.
It has stats.
Well,
Ash,
it
you know the rules.
has stats.
You know the rules, Ash. If it has stats, it can fight and it can die.
If it has stats, it has to fight.
I mean, it has stats, but I can't see like a health stat or like an
I mean,
AC or
it's like
anything.
the
It literally
fucking
says,
gods in Pathfinder, right? They have stats. That means they can die.
That was a problem people had with old D&D, was like wizards stopped giving gods stats because they were tired of people's fan fiction or they kill all the gods.
Exactly. But yeah, apparently it's a rather decorative pet, essentially.
Okay. Is it so? Like, is this a natural creature or is this like designed?
Well, no one really knows.
Okay.
They kind of turned up, and people just like them.
Yeah, Kuzon. The reason why Kuzon is like he hasn't shown Ataika this thing yet, and he's like afraid that he'll show it. He's aware of what his
By the way,
situation.
if you look at its mimic ability, Kuzon, you can make it transform into a pistol or any kind of gun or melee weapon, and you can look like you're always dangerous, and then plop, it just plops into the fucking goo all of a sudden. It's hilarious.
Actually, that is kind of cool. It's like if it can like shapeshift and like turn into solid objects and stuff like that. I bet I could figure out a use thing.
You can make it look like a plastic explosives and give people a scare, fake terrorist attack.
What I mean is like say for example, like, shapeshift shapes, I could like keep it as like a belt loop and use it to do things like I don't know. I'm trying to think of if I needed a specific kind of screwdriver. I guess I already have all.
But here's the thing: in order for all of those things to work, first of all, you have to engineer a small enough headset so you can talk to him. Special Agent Gloop, get in there, do this.
Get in there, Gloop.
Yeah, essentially, you could probably gather from the story you heard about the Pirate Queen that she's very into the whole pirate aesthetic, is that this is kind of like a parrot, or so to speak, but it doesn't seem very loyal, probably very new. It hasn't imprinted on anybody yet.
I'll like for now, just while I'm researching, like I'll keep them in my shop, and it's like You said it'll eat almost anything. Like, is that strictly organic or inorganic, or does it even matter?
It just things that it can eat, essentially. You know, it doesn't have to be it's plant matter or meat or anything. It just melts it. It's an ooze.
Okay.
It won't really touch your tools. You do lose it several times in your workshop, however. It seems to love turning into your like tools. So you always have to look for a second tool.
just like Kuzon will like do the thing where like you see like SpongeBob like on his desk at school, like he sets everything in its particular place, and he's like perfect. And then he turns around and he turns back and he has like 2 screwdrivers.
What the fuck? So I swear I only had one of these.
And then he just like picks up a screwdriver, and like as he goes to like turn a bolt, it just like fucking stretches like flubber, and just like a screwdriver that like that...
Yeah,
like,
it just flattened out like. Oh god. So yes, that's what you obtained, plus the pet carrier armor upgrade.
I don't think I'll ever spend an upgrade slot to use that, but
Of course, but clearly she wanted to, so you can always like move, like get rid of it or something.
just like, hey Ataika, we'll use your free upgrades SRO slot to stick this in your chest.
Exactly. But yes, we are coming to the end of today's session.